Have you ever asked yourself what is the purposes of the program? The below objectives are the main purposes of the program as I see it. The establishment's efforts in the program mainly consist of endless propaganda campaigns which are propagated to justify the program and furthermore incite the general populations to participate in the program, either actively or as recipients on various fronts. You have the constant propagandizing of the general populations to the program's newest subjects or initiatives. This occurs on a regular basis and as a principle intensifies as time goes on. Moreover, as a means to normalize and justify the implementations of these various new radical initiatives. Secondly, you have the propaganda specifically designed to incite people's willful and active participation in the program. This aspect of the program shall be divided into subgroups as follows. 1. The general population's regurgitating of the program's newest subjects, and furthermore the continuation of the establishment's rationalizations of the newly implemented radical initiatives by the arbiters. 2. Specific individuals from the general populations are encouraged and or coerced to be permanent propagandists for the program's administrators, especially media outlets, both the so-called independent and mainstream media. However, professionals like teachers and professors are also utilized to perpetuate the program's narratives. 3. Selected individuals and or small groups, often based on demographics and ethnicity, are encouraged to actively participate in physical campaigns, be it gaslighting and or as provocateurs. This is mainly on a local level. However, minor contributions to these sorts of campaigns are also international, in a lesser sense to those on the local level. All these objectives are in essence accomplished successfully continuously, which is the main factor that explains why the program has no end. The program will continue to expand and multiply indefinitely for this reason, as the program is a masterful tool for the arbiters of the program to implement their New World Order initiatives. So what is my particular role in all of this? It is no mystery that I, Stephen Bell, am used as a reusable patsy, whom is endlessly being demonized in all the program's propaganda campaigns across the world, as the poster demon child of the program. This is an amplification of the boogeyman phenomenon used widely across the Western world. You know why the Danish government and or US or UK do not follow through on all their charges and accusations against me, despite them having raised serious and severe accusations and charges against me publicly for years on end. Because if they did so, I would no longer be a reusable patsy who can take the blame and accusations to which these establishments justified the program's existence with. Therefore, make no mistake, if they wanted to set me up to be prosecuted instead of this extrajudicial persecution, they could do so by a flick of a pen. However, this would not continuously serve the interests of the arbiters and the establishments who run and administer the program, which is one of the reasons why they are not seeking to prosecute me for the accusations which they raise to the general populations in their justification campaigns. Instead, they are actively and rigorously seeking to have me institutionalized to a mental institution under false pretenses. If they succeed with this objective, they would have in effect eliminated all possible and reasonable avenues of me defending myself legally against the extrajudicial persecution and false accusations and charges. And moreover, they will concoct all sorts of bizarre and heinous narratives, which will further their abilities to implement even more radical and intrusive initiatives against the general population's will and interests, and this you can be sure of. Why it is so paradoxical for me to be this great boogeyman which everybody hates and despises, and so many people and government bodies are actively seeking to destroy, while in reality I have absolutely no part in the program or the demise of the general population's freedoms and the principles of the rule of law and the inalienable human rights. In fact, I stand against all these things which I am being hated and persecuted for.